I don't know why you were air humping
it
me during that.
It is not a On the Whim podcast recording without some kind of technical difficulty, and I love it. So we are doing things very differently today, listeners. For those of you watching live on Twitch, which I don't think is happening, but we are going live on a Thursday because we are recording our reactions, or we recorded earlier, we streamed our reactions to the PlayStation 5 reveal.
Right.
So some pleasantries real quick. I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm Paul Vella.
Jabari Lewis Smith.
And we are welcoming back our very first guest co-host. He loved the madness, and
I have nowhere else to be. You guys interrupted my work.
He likes the pain, so dealing with me and Jabari. We are welcoming back Grover Wimberly the Fourth.
Hi.
Welcome back, Grover.
I'm glad to be here. I have nowhere else to go.
I'm sure you sound like we've
You know, I stay here, I sleep here, and you guys just come in, barge in, like just do all your setup here, and now I have nowhere to sleep.
That's about right. This is his bedroom we're in right now.
This is my bedroom. So welcome to my bedroom.
Oh wow.
It looks
where the magic doesn't happen.
Yeah, there's spider webs all everywhere. And I think I saw a dead cricket over there somewhere.
Somewhere, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
So some real brief, since we are streaming on Twitch. Mm-hmm. If anyone who joins in, we do not interact with the chat directly at any time. We usually have a moderator for that. We have a wonderful moderating team.
But they're not here now.
But since we are recording during the week, we just didn't have a chance to gather them all together. And
yeah.
So we'll do our best to respond to the chat.
I'll take a look.
And if
I'll
not,
help you
Grover
guys
will
out.
take a look every now and then.
Yeah,
he is one of our moderators usually as well.
I can barely see it. Yeah.
We
go right up to it.
We have an in-person moderator this time. So
sure. Yeah.
So
we'll call it that.
But otherwise, we're just here for the conversation, and we usually talk over games. We usually play something in the background, but through the magic of editing, as you hear our voice and see us, you should be able to see what we saw in the PS5 release.
Now?
Not right now.
Oh,
I mean, when they see
on.
it, when we post it on YouTube.
See, that's what I was confused about. Because I was thinking, okay, we're going to do a podcast without the camera. But since we're recording our camera now,
they're not seeing anything, yeah.
They're not seeing anything now.
Well, that's fine, and they probably won't.
Mm-hmm.
But when I put the video there, do you want me to keep this right here?
Yeah, us in the group talk, the group picture, the chat. That picture, right? What I'm pointing at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that. I want them to see that. And then
our pictures taken away out of there to be covered by the Xbox, because
PS5, sure.
I mean, PS5.
Yeah, we watched the Xbox conference today. All right. If you can't figure it out, you can't figure it out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about
that's
it.
hoping we'll
Technical stuff.
Technical stuff. Well, you're a smart guy. We'll figure it out. Better than me. So, gentlemen, first reactions.
If you guys just saw the stream, so I angrily threw my case of red vines at the TV and knocked it over. But I did not like how I don't like how Sony and Microsoft are playing this game of chicken on price, because they know the other one's gonna undercut, right? So like, you know, even I went on Discord very briefly between when we did our last stream and when we went live now, and other people are saying, you know, oh, you know, I'll be very surprised if it's not, you know, higher than $5.99. I'm like, oh yeah, it might be $5.99 for the discless version. Right. I from what I've seen, like, oh, it's gonna have a headset and a remote and all this stuff. It's gonna be like almost $1,000.
Well, for a set.
Yeah.
And the premium package.
Yeah, and if I were to buy the whole thing, I would probably get the set. Right. Go bold or go home. But I understand that we're in a pandemic and people don't have money right now.
And a recession too, for the matter.
Yeah.
Double the trouble.
Double the trouble.
Yeah.
One begots the other. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts on the console.
Jabari, any thoughts?
Man, shoot. I was kind of disappointed about the conference. I was looking forward to, I guess, more animated games and stuff. There's some good ones out there too, But like what you guys were saying earlier, 5 games is what will make you buy the console.
Oh yeah.
So that's Grover's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say the rule for the people listening. Like, for me, I won't. I swear by Nintendo personally, but even I don't buy a Nintendo console until there's 5 games that I want. And I didn't end up getting it until really, like, there was a deal on that GameStop was doing where I couldn't turn it down. It was like, oh, we'll give you the Switch and we'll give you a SD card, a micro SD card, and like an extra case or extra Joy-Cons or something, all for the price.
You couldn't turn it down.
And I couldn't turn it down. That's the only reason why I got it. It didn't match my 5-game threshold. But then all of a sudden, all these games, all these ports and stuff from like PS3 games and PS4 games that I never played started going on the Switch. I'm like, okay, now these are all the games. And now I have like 50 games on the Switch. No, I think my title library is like closer to 80 now.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys have seen it. Like, I have a literal stack of Switch games I haven't even opened yet. But yeah, and it keeps getting higher. It keeps getting higher. But with PS5, right? The one thing that it has going for it that the Switch didn't is that it's backwards compatible. There's a lot of PS4 games that I do have that I haven't had a chance to play yet. Uncharted, Last of Us, and like half of the Kingdom Hearts games. There's like 20 of them. So I'm out of space on my PS4, and I don't want to get a PS4 Pro because it's so close to PS5 launch that I don't want to be throwing away money twice. So it's like, okay, I'll get the PS5, I'll transfer my PS4 stuff to there, I'll get a giant SSD that'll replace the default one, so I have more space, and just move all my PS4 stuff to that, and put the PS4 on top of my PS3 and my PS2 and my PS1.
So would
and
you
hopefully
buy
they
it
don't
at
break.
launch?
Really? Geez, right now we're going through a really tough time, not only for the economy, but for the studio as well. I don't think I'll do it at launch.
Right.
I don't think I'll do it at launch. I will probably do it in the future. I have like so many Switch games that I need to play that like I just don't see a reason for me to just like dump a bunch of money on a PS5 right now. But that's talking for me personally. Like, for the studio, it's a different story.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So my first take on it is there's not enough games, I think, kind of what Grover was saying, to warrant buying it at launch. I mean, there's not enough games releasing at holiday 2020. And whether that coincides with the whole recession we're in and the pandemic and everything, people out of work, it has something to do with it. Maybe they're just meeting the goals they set for shareholders, and I mean, I get that part of it. The show must go on, business must go on, and then one of the games which one was it? The one that's going to come out in January?
Sackboy.
Sackboy.
We're going back to the PS3 days on that one, right?
Yeah.
So they're dusting off some titles, but no. What was another one that
Hitman is coming out in January? Hitman 3.
Hitman 3. And Grover, I like what the comment you made was, you have to be really confident you don't need that money if you're skipping the holiday release.
Releasing January.
But then Jabari, you were saying that that's getting more common.
Yes.
Like, January is an actual bona fide release window now.
If you have even we released the first half of Salotria like the beginning of February, and we thought that was a little early. Like, even our publisher at the time was like, that's still a little early in the year, but we'll see if we can make it work.
But then I've heard the winter's game drought, right? So after the holidays, all the titles come out, and then there's this just dead spot between January and you're looking at March. April.
Yep.
And it's just dead. And some games have managed to sneak up in there and, line the mood up a little bit and, little filler content.
Right.
So my first impression is there's not enough games at release to warrant buying it. And then I'll also piggyback on what Grover said. they're playing nuclear chicken pretty much with Microsoft.
Yeah.
No, I see Switch over there frolicking in the field, with Animal Crossing, and then they don't care.
Switch is in a unique spot because they don't care about graphics. They don't care about the new tech. And Sony, Microsoft has already admitted that Nintendo's not even their competition. Microsoft has started releasing previously Xbox exclusive games on Switch, like Ori and the Blind Forest, Cuphead. That was supposed to be a Microsoft exclusive. And Microsoft made that happen because they don't see Nintendo as a competitor, for good or for bad, right? Because Nintendo is just like, we're just making games for fun and we're doing our own thing, and you guys, you have at it with your console wars and whatnot.
And it's working.
And meanwhile, we got players 4 and 5 trying to enter the fray, and they're not cutting it. Like earlier in the week we were talking about the Stadia.
Oh, yeah. And Tommy Tallarico, me and Matt met him, and Chris Nunez. We went to his house. He's like this big prolific composer, right? And he made he bought out Intellivision, and he's releasing the Intellivision Amico, the old thing with the wheel, right? Back in the 80s, yeah. And they're coming out with a new console, and they want to go for the Switch market,
right.
the game where where people can connect all the time, and they said a new Earthworm Jim is coming out, but it's gonna be a Intellivision Amico exclusive, right? It's like, yeah, nobody's really like GameStop has said that they're gonna sell the Intellivision, but nobody else is on board. Right. So I'm worried that's gonna go the way of the Ouya or the Stadia, where it's just like, kind of, it's good at the beginning, and then just kind of crashes
Teeters
and burns.
off, yeah.
Because I hate to say it, consoles are a dying breed right now.
You think so?
GameStop is like, PlayStation 5, right? They have the two versions of the console, right? They have the disc-based console, and then they have the discless-based console, right? And I mean, what does that say for stuff like GameStop, right? That thrives right now on used game sales. Discless-based system can't play used games.
No.
Do you think Intellivision's probably going to have cartridges, or probably not? They're probably all digital games.
From statistics that I was looking at back in 2019, right now it seems like more and more people are actually playing PC games. So 50% of the market is PC games. I think another 30% is mobile games, and then the rest of it, the other 20% is actual console games, and that's lowering for console section.
Where would you put
games.
something like the Switch? Do you consider Switch to be mobile, or do you consider it to be
Switch
console?
is still a console game.
I think mobile will be like this, your phone.
Yeah. A lot of people are playing a lot on those phones. Nintendo at one point, at the start of the whole mobile revolution for games, like back in 2007, Nintendo did not want to go that route. They're like, no, we can't have a game on there. We don't want it. But now, fast forward to 2018, 2019.
Is it normal to not have our sound going off like that?
Hmm?
Is it normal to not have our sound going off like that? Like the no sound activity there?
That's not, I don't think that's normal.
I didn't see any activity there, so I didn't know if that, like, we can be heard. Oh, there we go.
Microphone's right there.
Okay, cool. I was just making sure. We were talking this whole time.
No, smart. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking this whole
I saw
time.
it earlier, so I was like, hold up. But yeah, I put on a separate microphone setting.
So you were talking about mobile games before I interrupted you. Sorry.
So Nintendo into 2018, that's when they started coming out with mobile games, which was like Mario Run and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now they have Mario Kart, and they noticed that they made a mistake, and they want to go mobile now. And yeah, so that's where the market is really going, PC and mobile. Mobile's growing even more.
The casual gamers.
Dying.
Yeah.
The filthy casuals. But something that I appreciate what Grover said, that the PC master race, right? They're like, well, I've had these graphics for years.
Yeah.
But then what was the thing you said?
Oh,
Grover?
yeah. So there was a meme that said that I saw this morning. It's like the PC people are like, yeah, I've had these graphics for years. This is 10 years ago. Good job catching up. But I was like, yeah, you pay, $1,500, $2,000 for that that really high end PC with the best graphics card, the best whatever, and to say that consoles are able to get this point with a comparatively low price tag, right? That's something, that's a feat to say that, graphics cards are this affordable. These high-end SSDs are this affordable, right? And that's with them selling their consoles at a loss. Like Sony has always sold their consoles at a loss and always made it back up with software sales, with their first-party franchises and stuff. And so, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I only game on PC. I'm not a console gamer, but really that's now seen, what console games are now seen as the baseline, right? Because a lot of PC games that come out, right, the PC ports are usually the last ports to come out. They usually, game developers always want to go for that exclusive, right? They want to be paid the money by the big studios to be exclusively for PlayStation, exclusively for Xbox for a year or two. And then they get, PC will get the enhanced definitive edition, right? Because there's nobody, unless you're Epic Games, there's nobody really saying, oh yeah, we're going to give you XYZ amount of money to be exclusive to our storefront, right? And even if you do it for Epic Games Store, they're not excluding you from releasing on consoles. It's just on the PC platform. Yeah. So.
Wow. It's just amazing to see everything catch up, and I like the nostalgia trip they gave us at the beginning too, right?
Oh yeah, it showed the old school PS1 opening. Yeah.
And the power of nostalgia, right, Jabari? We've talked about that in the past too. Nostalgia covered glasses, and do you think they're trying to go for that with the whole showing us how far they've come?
It's funny because this could have all been Nintendo, right? Have you heard of the Nintendo PlayStation?
Yes.
Yeah. And then Nintendo's like, oh yeah, we're not gonna work with you, Sony. We're gonna go for Philips. See how that worked out. And Sony's like, all right, we'll make our own console with blackjack.
Yeah.
Yep. And they definitely made blackjack.
Yeah. So.
And Nintendo, that Pikachu meme with
the Pikachu surprise face.
Yeah. Surprise. Yeah.
They think they were gonna do it.
Surprise Pikachu face.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that PlayStation 5 conference, a little bit disappointed.
You're disappointed?
You're disappointed?
Disappointed, yeah. Well, I guess I was expecting. I'm out of touch with the recent games and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't have any time.
I remember those days.
I don't have time either. I get it.
I remember those days.
I get it.
There's that, but I haven't. Though I do love PlayStation. My last PlayStation system was PlayStation 3, and I really did not play that.
You don't have a PlayStation 4?
No. I was planning on getting it. Then I waited too long, and I was like, I'll get the PS4 Pro. And then I was like, wait, hold up. PS5 is coming out soon, within a year or so.
Right.
So maybe I should wait for that. And I waited for it. And that's why I want to buy the PS5. But I'm not sure anymore.
I felt that way about not this console generation, but the previous one, the PS3, Xbox. The only system I really owned in that generation, I definitely had the Wii. I don't ignore Nintendo consoles. But like me and my brother had this broken down 360 from the swap meet that had a Red Ring of Death, and we Frankensteined it together just so I could play Final Fantasy 13. And then as soon as I beat Final Fantasy 13, it broke again.
It served its purpose.
It served its purpose, and that was it, right? So I did not even get a PS3 until a few years ago when Gino sold me his.
I remember that.
And I didn't want to get a PS3 unless I got the backwards compatible, the original one that could play PS1, PS2, and PS3 games, because I wanted that to be my definitive retro console. Like if I was going to buy a PS3, I wanted to be able to play every PlayStation game up until that point. So Gino sold me his, and I've been casually playing through PS1 games on it here and there, but and that one definitely doesn't collect dust because I know that one PS3s break easily. But yeah, I bought a PS4 from Fry's when people still visited that store, and twisting the knife. Hey, Shadow. Shadow just joined the
Hey,
Twitch.
hey.
Hi, Shadow. One
Um,
of our wonderful moderating team members.
yeah.
Yes.
My seat is sinking again.
Go in the
and-
chair.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get another chair. But let me finish my thoughts here. So I skipped the PS3 and then I went and bought PS4 from Fry's when that was still a thing. And you know, I've been playing that, but like even when I bought the PS4, it was old. It was like 2 or 3 or 4 years old at that point. I knew it was after I relocated to Vegas, and I just buy it just to have to play the Sony exclusive games, but it's not my primary gaming console. And like now I've barely just hit the storage cap on it, and I'm like, and I mentioned this before. I was like, oh, I'll buy a PS5, but I'm buying PS5 for the whole case of upgrading it, not because I care about the games.
Fair enough.
But yeah, let me switch my seat here.
So disappointment, Jabari, huh?
Disappointment, yeah.
You feeling any gamer rage?
No, not exactly. I guess we were angry about the
this
PlayStation
is
not showing the
lopsided.
price.
That's
Oh,
lopsided.
yeah.
You want to try that one, the beige one?
The beige one. Okay.
Racy one.
The racy one.
Vroom vroom.
Vroom, vroom. No, the racy one is Grover's old one. He's the one who broke that one.
I remember him breaking the one at his house. Before a stream, he sat on it. I was like, oh.
Oh
That's
no.
a nice chair too.
Okay.
And we glued it back together.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. At my yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I got rid of that chair.
I
This
don't
one's
remem- I
this
don't-
one's better.
I don't remember that. Was that
No.
not-
you weren't there.
This
I
was
was-
in Vegas.
yeah.
Like he
Oh.
drove all the way up to Vegas so we can do a stream.
I think. Oh yeah.
Road trip. Gotta do that
Road
again.
trip.
We'll do that again, Jabari. We'll celebrate
I
your graduation.
should have called this
I'm going to
stream
Vegas.
Grover's Search for a Comfy Chair. Jeez. Okay.
Okay. So gamer rage. What are your thoughts on that? On the any gamer rage you felt watching the PlayStation?
I think we all felt it when PlayStation 5 was not announcing their price.
Their price point?
Right. So
is
if you were watching that stream that was a little earlier, I threw my case of red vines right at the TV and it toppled it over and knocked everything over while we were live. So I was very genuinely upset. That you know, like I said, that they're playing this game of chicken.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it makes sense, especially from a marketing standpoint.
Oh, it makes total sense.
Yeah. Whoever announces first, the pricing is going to be undercut.
See, but
Like other companies.
but we have that hindsight, right? Because we own our own studio and we deal with this stuff, right?
Right.
The common gamer, they're like, I don't care. I want to know where are my video games at, right? Because they care about how it looks like. Some care about the story. Some care about the art. Some care about the price point. Because we're responsible adults, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
How much of my wallet is gonna burn from all of this?
But the common gamer doesn't think about that, right? They just want to know, and that kind of leads me to the topic I wanted to bring up during this stream. You know,
The gamer rage.
Gamer rage.
Yeah.
And as luck would have it, GTA 5 is being re-released on the
PlayStation 5.
the PS5.
Yeah. Again.
And again, and a lot of gamers were hoping, praying, whatever, that GTA 6 would be announced. And,
That's a little soon. Even I know it came out in 2013, but that's still a little
I
soon.
thought I saw a trailer recently of GTA 6, though.
No.
Are you sure?
Of course, it could be said outer space.
No,
Gang-
I don't know. I don't know
So,
where that came from.
Shadow says their wallet's already on fire.
Whose wallet? Shadow's
Shadow's
wallet?
wallet's already on fire. Yeah.
So, a couple of weeks ago, when I came up with the idea for this topic, there was a Twitter war between our favorite former Kotaku staff writer, Jason Schreier,
Okay. Yeah.
having a Twitter war with I don't know his name, but he's a quote unquote insider at Take-Two,
Okay.
which is Rockstar's parent company
Yeah.
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Their partner, right?
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it right.
And this insider said, "Oh yeah, we're close. We'll know a release date soon." And Jason Schreier's like, "Ha ha ha! No."
Yeah.
Jason Schreier is known for making these like very in-depth inside looks at various studio development. They even he wrote the book Blood, Sweat, and Pixels that me and Grover and Jabari have all read.
Great book.
It's a great book if you want an insight into actual game development. Beyond where are my video games at? What all the work that goes into it. That's a book you need to check out.
Yeah, I felt.
We're not getting paid for it. We're not getting sponsored by them.
No, I felt all of the emotions in that book one way or another while being here.
Yeah.
So.
And he's like, no, you're not even close. You are so far off the ball. And then the gamer rage started going towards this insider. Mm-hmm. Like, you deceived us. How dare you, And when his point all along is he's always had the gamer's interest at heart, right?
Yeah.
Something like a community manager or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Where, I'm trying to fight for you. I'm trying to, pressure Rockstar and Take-Two to make an announcement, and the gamers were not having any of it.
Yeah.
And I can just I heard the gamer rage, and seeing GTA 5 be announced.
Thank you for following.
Sasuke from Inuyasha is now following. Thank you.
Inuyasha!
Kagome!
Inuyasha!
Shadow will read that book sometime this summer.
Shadow will read that book.
Yeah.
Shadow will also talk about themselves in third person.
Shadow also talks about themselves in third person.
So
where is that book anyway?
I think it's either
here.
Oh, it's here?
It's here? You dropped it off? I think your last one took it.
I gave it to you personally.
Did you?
Then it's at Paul's house.
Then it's at Paul's house. Or it's here. One or the other. Or did I give it to Edwin?
Somewhere.
I give it to somebody.
Okay, somebody else.
It used to be in that library right there, but I don't see it. So
yeah.
It's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
So we have this gamer rage directed at it is blind, right? That. Well, I want my.
That's Shadow's alternate account.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Sasuke Inuyasha doesn't get more anime than that.
It can get more classic anime than that, right? Because that's Kagome Inuyasha. That was all high school era for us, mid 2000s.
Stop making me feel old.
You're welcome.
Wrinkles.
So I'm gonna ask you guys. I'm gonna do like a little round table. When have you besides today?
Sure.
Felt legitimate gamer rage?
Yeah, so there was a story. I used to do a lot of heavy raiding in Final Fantasy 14, in right when it came out in the vanilla version of the game, and we were fighting this boss. For Final Fantasy fans, they'll recognize it, but it's called Ramu, Ramu. And he's kind of like the lightning god. He has this big giant beard and everything, and so my job was to kind of hold the monster's attention, and we had to get these 3 orbs on the ground to get lightning immunity from the boss. And in Final Fantasy 14, you fight in parties of 8, and when we're in a party of 8, we do voice chat. And so this is all my fault. I'm not blaming anybody else for this, and I still regret it to this day. But I come back. I was working the job where I would have to drive 2 hours to go to work each day and 2 hours back. And I was racing to get home. I got off work at 5:00 in Orange County, and then I would come back here at San Bernardino, and we would start raiding at 8:00 to fight this boss that we were stuck on, Ramu. So this particular night, I got back at 7:50. I was pedal to metal, carpool lane with one person, all that thing, right? Breaking the law, tried to get here to get back for raid night. So I was tired, I was angry, I was just like, all right, we're gonna beat this boss, we're gonna do it, right?
Do it live.
We're gonna do it live. So Ramu does what's called a tank buster, and what a tank buster is, for those who aren't knowledgeable about MMO mechanics, is that it's like this: the tank holds the monster's attention, and they use a big move called a tank buster, which is kind of like a check for the healer to say, hey, the tank is being hit by this really strong attack, and the healers have to heal them, right? And the tank buster hurts depending on your lightning immunity, right? So there was this mechanic that we tried to cheese it a little bit, so I would be the only person who holds the monster's attention, get my lightning immunity, and we would kill it before it's a problem. But the problem was that that I would die right when his HP was 3 to 5%, he's almost dead. So I'm like, come on, what are you guys doing? I was getting really legitimately upset, and I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I'm just like, let's beat this. and then came the words that kind of really triggered me. It's like we can't do it with a paladin tank. There's 2 tank classes: a paladin, which is the sword and shield, and there's the warrior, which is he wields a big axe. We can't do it with a paladin.
Two-handed weapon?
And that's Dark Knight. That's a different joke for another time. But and she said, we can't do it with a paladin. And I lost my shit. I was so mad.
I would censor that out.
Yeah, you censor that. But
At least get one.
we get one.
Everyone gets one.
I lost my crap. I was so mad. I was so upset. I was like, how do you not do this? You call yourself a scholar. You use this. You save it for this point. I will call it out. I'll use my immunities. And she started crying. The healer. Yeah, she started crying. And I was like, I don't care. And I shut off my mic and I was just quiet. I was quiet for that day and I was quiet for the next day. Right? And
Did you come out for the next day?
no, the last day, the next day we beat the fight. But it's like we're done. And they reformed the group without me. And with every understanding, I don't blame them for doing that. I was just really I was upset and I was embarrassed at myself for what I did. But that's not the end of the story. So
But wait, there's more.
There's more. But after that point, I'd vowed like, hey, I'm not gonna get this upset and angry over a video game, right? It doesn't matter. Like, I didn't know it then, but Final Fantasy, they release patches like every couple of months, which the boss net just naturally becomes easier because you can get better gear and better equipment. And that was kind of the trigger into my like, hey, I'm just gonna take this game. Like, I'll do it when I'm a little stronger than at normal, and that way I keep my gamer rage in check. Mm-hmm. So the healer blacklisted me. She kicked me off her Facebook friends list, and I was ousted from the group, and they reformed without me, and they continued on and fighting things, right? So fast forward to when was the last fan festival? Last year, 2018. No, 2 years ago. I'm going to Final Fantasy Fan Festival with my friends from Viva Eorzea, which is our free company. And, we go to the Final Fantasy convention, the fan festival, and there's this challenge going on. Like, hey, you can fight this boss with 7 random people. And guess who I get matched with in line, in person, at the fan festival? The healer that I yelled at. I recognized. I said, "Are you so and so from Hyperion server?" And she's like, "Yeah, I used to be on Hyperion. Who are you?" And I said, I'm Grover Iveen.
I'm the asshole.
And I said it. I owned up to it. I'm like, I'm the asshole who yelled at you. I'm really, really sorry. I shouldn't have acted that way. It was completely my fault. That was my bad. And she said, it was all water under the bridge and stuff. And so we partnered together for that fight at the fan festival, and we still, we lost. But I felt that was kind of growth in myself. Like, hey, I didn't do yelling. Just like, we'll try it again another time. There's always other attempts. It's just a game. This isn't a once in a lifetime thing, right? And that happened in 2014, right? So that was 6 years ago. And I don't think I've had a gamer rage, like a severe gamer rage incident since then. And I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Like you said, it's just a game, right? What else was and like when people get mad at me, I just start laughing now. There's been streams, like I would stream with other people, like we're playing Cuphead or something, and the other guy's yelling at me, and I'm like, just like, we're just gonna try again in like 30 seconds anyway, so it's all good. Right. Yeah. Didn't mean to rant or get super serious about it, but that was good. But that was that's my episode on gamer rage there. So
okay,
Jabari,
my episode. So I always get mad when I'm gaming. Only when I'm playing a competitive game. So anytime I'm playing it against somebody else, usually I'm going to get mad. But what game pisses me off the most? It's Call of Duty.
I thought it was gonna be Super Smash Brothers.
I do get mad at that, but I don't know.
But you know where you're better, so you know it's.
I know people are better, and I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Call of Duty is the game that gets me. Playing against other people. People are dicks. I swear.
Oh yeah,
people are dicks, and I'm one of the dicks on there.
You are part of the problem.
You're making the community toxic.
So I like to, of course, be like one of the top players on the for each match and stuff like that. But sometimes things are just not working.
It's not your day.
It's just not your day, or it's just not your match, and that's when I start getting mad because there's always one douchebag in the game that just happens to know where you're sitting, where you're camping, where you're hiding, stuff like that.
Right.
I'm just like, I'm going to have to hunt this person down, and I get so mad, and my whole what do you call it? My whole goal of that match is to hunt this one person. I can ignore everybody else. I'm just going to go
just
straight
disappear
for
in
him.
your mind.
Going straight for him. I'm going to embarrass him by knifing him from the back, doing the teabagging and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know, stuff like that just happens only on Call of Duty for me. And
I've had that happen to me in Splatoon, but the only things I can say in Splatoon are boo and booyah, right? So it's like, yeah, you can't tell. No, wait, it's over here and booyah. So it's like, over here, over here, over here, over here.
That does get me mad too.
Booyah, booyah, booyah. Yeah. I'm not saying booyah, I'm saying boo.
But yeah, when people are just dicks online, that's when I get mad.
Sure.
I want to be the dick.
I
don't usually.
You can't be out-dicked by them.
I can't be out-dicked. Okay, but I don't do all the teabagging and all that stuff like that.
Unless
sure.
they deserve it.
Unless they deserve it.
Right.
And I just like to outmatch other people, and be proud of it. Run around like knife. But other people, they have like these little plans and stuff like that. They put a little claymore.
Yep.
On the side, and then they start.
I was
messing
one of those.
You're one of those.
I was the claymores. I put the claymore down. Go ahead, chase me. Boom.
Yeah.
Ah.
And once I see the replay, you would be my target.
You're welcome.
That whole match, and I would destroy you.
You try.
Unless I'm outmatched, and then
you will try. You will try.
Oh, you know what game really historically gets me really upset? Mario Kart. Mario Kart DS. Mario Kart DS.
Yes. Glorious.
When I was in high school, me, Paul, Matt, Neil, and Gino, we would always play Mario Kart. And there was this one, I remember this, this must have been 15 years ago.
Circa 2000.
2005.
7.
2005, 6, something like that. We weren't playing on Moo Farm, and right before the end of Moo Farm, there are these
Gophers.
No, not gophers, these cement columns, like this overpass. Yeah. And what Matt would do is he would be so far ahead of us, he would be taunting us, and he would just slam on his brakes right before the end. And if a blue shell would come, he would go into second place. Legit, so that one of us would pull ahead. The blue shell would come on top of us, and they would go back ahead, right?
You remember?
So I'm doing really good, right? I'm in second, third place because there's no first, right? Because of Matt, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna win. And there's Matt waiting there. So blue shell comes up. Matt starts backing up. Here's the finish line right here. I'm about to come. Right, hit the cement columns. Goes Matt, Gino, Neil, CPU, me.
Me.
Was it?
And I'm like, ah! Hack! And I was screaming so loud in high school. People are like, what's is that? Is he on drugs? Security guard came by. Are you okay?
Officer Charles, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, beat me at Mario Kart. Because I didn't curse back then. Beat me at Mario Kart. Get back there. Hack. Start punching my backpack, threw my backpack across the way.
You sure did. I remember that. Good time. But the way I told the story was it was Matt.
Look at the watch a little bit.
Yeah.
Gino.
Paul. Neil. CPU. Grover. Just a little bit after the last CPU.
And it's so funny. It's so funny because I would ride the bus home.
The car breaks down.
I would ride the bus home from my high school, right? And everybody's like, "How are you so good at Mario Kart?" I said, "I'm not." Because compared to my friends, I was the worst one.
The studio's always been known as the place where egos come to get checked.
Yeah.
Because every now and then someone will come along. Yeah, I'm good at this game. No, you're not.
So one of the programmers from one of our unannounced games right now, he's actually really, really good at Smash Brothers,
Yep.
and he is one of the only people that actually put Matt in check. Because I always thought Matt was like one of the best gamers I know, period. Mm-hmm. And one of these programmers for this unannounced game is I think he's the only one who can really beat Matt on the regular.
On a consistent basis, yeah. And then
And that's saying a lot.
that's saying a lot.
Yeah, Shadow says the bus rides home were always entertaining. Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank
Yeah.
you, Shadow, for co-signing.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
I would give them my extra DS, and we would have Wi-Fi. Yeah, we would have Wi-Fi Mario Kart battles on the bus, and I would get first place there. And they're like, "How are you so good at Mario Kart?"
I'm not.
I'm not.
You're just not good.
You're just not good. I am the best
lowest.
out of the losers bracket.
First loser.
First loser.
Or in your case, seventh loser.
Yeah, Shadow says that they were always last. Yeah,
Fair enough.
fair.
So my
Yes.
gamer rage. Oh my goodness, where do I start? I've already named my biggest example of gamer rage was Mass Effect 3.
Oh, the ending.
The
right?
ending.
Yeah.
I was salty. I am still salty. I mean, Pokemon, that hand holding in Sun and Moon.
That really turned me off of the Pokemon series, and then when they announced that they were removing the Pokemon, that was like that's
The
it.
last
That
straw.
was the last straw. Yeah.
Yeah, but for my gamer rage when it came to Pokemon was, I don't need to be handheld. I've been playing this game since, '98. I know what I'm doing. And then one of our friends is like, "Joke's on you, Paul. It's not meant for you anymore."
Who was
And
that?
Matt.
Oh, Matt.
And I'm like, you know what? You're right. And I haven't played since.
Yeah.
And it's those moments of clarity that I'm given, like, you know what? You're right.
Time to move on.
Why be upset?
Yeah.
Mass Effect 3,
You've reached the acceptance phase.
I reached the acceptance phase, right?
You moved out of the anger phase.
No, I'm so angry at Mass Effect 3. I know it's going to get remastered, and I'm like, I'm going to love it playing every second of it up until that ending. And I'm going to not play the ending. Because if I don't play it, it didn't happen, right?
You say that about several Final Fantasy games and Kingdom Hearts games.
Other examples of gamer rage are when I was younger, playing the competitive games like FIFA, Madden, and I don't play against other people. I don't like going online on consoles because I got to pay for it. So moving
Okay.
up in difficulty level. So there's always this like chasm of raising difficulty between, like, let's say example, pro and the next highest, which is like
Platinum or whatever. Yeah.
elite or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And it's just so much quicker and so much harder to match. And like, I will get legitimately upset because I'm schooling the CPU at the previous difficulty, but now it's bending me over and going at me like, dang, really, like that? So
Yeah.
are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
So,
Okay.
Minutes.
No, we got another 16, 17 minutes because we
Yeah.
started at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going by.
3 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time.
Pacific Daylight Time.
That's what making sure I say it right.
Yeah.
PDT right for the moment.
Until whenever the clocks go back
Until the clocks we fall back.
to standard time.
So I remember one time specifically, I got so upset. I was finally winning in FIFA, right? It had to be FIFA. It had to be because I was finally winning. I was up by 1 goal. I'm gonna do it, and if you play FIFA, any gamers out there who play FIFA will know this. Mm-hmm. There's a script in the game that no matter what, you will not score, and they will score on you. Like, and EA's mentioned this. The devs of the game says, well, it's called momentum, and you kind of see it when you watch a game in live. You feel the momentum of a side, right? Like this side's building up, they're moving the ball well, and you're like, okay, the goal's coming, right? And they try to emulate this in the game, but in the game they really can't program momentum. No. So the game makes it where you just can't score. Like the ball bounces off the crossbars. Your defenders catch up to your strikers. And your strikers in the game are your fastest people.
So you had like all your ducks lined up in a row and it didn't work.
It didn't work. Like the ball could be like almost over the line and the goalkeeper smacks it out of the way. And I'm like, okay, now the momentum's got me, right? So now you're playing defense and then they're just schooling your defenders.
Sure.
And they score. And I think they scored like 3 goals on me in the last minute of the match. And I got so mad. I threw my controller on the ground and it poof.
New controller.
And I'm like, I need a new controller. And I couldn't play until I got a new controller.
Oh my god.
That's your punishment. Life punished you. Life grounded you. Because
my mom was going to buy me one, so I had to wait for my next money source.
You grounded yourself. You broke your
my
controller.
mom's like, sounds like you're a personal problem, right?
Yeah.
Which is my favorite line these days.
I mean, the lessons were learned by itself. Like you got to pay $60 to
or whatever
to calm down. Yeah.
And I was like,
oh, this was PS2 era?
It had to be PS2 or GameCube or one of those eras, right? Yeah. And I'm like,
back when they were still wired.
Back when we were still wired.
Yeah.
And I think I have the controller somewhere in a bag. It's somewhere in my like collection of games in my room, and I'm like, it's still in there in a bag, and I'm like, my mom found it one day. I shattered. I'm like, what is that? It's my lesson. I can't do that. And every now and then I'll catch myself getting angry in GTA 5 and GTA Online, because talking about dicks in Call of Duty, there's definitely dicks in GTA Online. Looking at you, Grover.
So in GTA, I like to get in the back of somebody's car and just start shooting out random people's tires just for funsies. It's great.
You and my brother do that.
Yeah.
My brother's great at pissing people off.
I suck at aiming, so I might as well practice on other people, right?
Might as well. Yeah.
Only in games. Only in games.
Fair enough.
That's it.
I didn't think we needed to clarify, but I guess we did.
Especially in this side, maybe.
Yeah.
In this part of the same
yeah.
So people come after you as you're trying to sell things, and it's called griefing, right? You pay so much money to make a business sale or whatever the in-game mechanic, and then here comes this douchebag on their flying motorcycle that's armed with missiles. And then in my head, I can hear the lock-on tone that your aircraft gives off. Ding! I'm like, boom! And then there went 120 grand or whatever in-game currency I would have gotten from it. And then in my head, I'm like, crack. All right, Then I get my toolbox out and I go after them, and then.
So, have you guys ever heard of EVE Online?
Yes.
So EVE Online, it's I've never really I may have played it like once with like John or something.
Yeah,
it's like this massively multiplayer online space game.
Okay.
And people spend a lot of time gathering materials so that they can build bases and spaceships and stuff like that, right? And with it's notorious for not being regulated by the company, right? They just let people do whatever they want, right? So people get into alliances and they get into these factions, these player-made factions and alliances, and like there's these people have estimated like these ships can cost like thousands of dollars of real life money, right? Because of all the time it took to gather them and put them together. and like one person does one thing, shoots the wrong direction or something, then you have all these ships, this gamer rage of ships like shooting at each other, and it makes like gamer news. It says like, tens of thousands of dollars were lost when this space war, this galactic war went off in EVE Online. It happens. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happens like every 2 or 3 years, I think. And it's just like you just see it, and and this game's been going on for 20 years. Yeah. But like John tried to get me into it, but it's like it was so complicated. It's like, oh yeah, you have to do this and this and this and this and this and this, and then you can start the game. I'm like, no, this is not my type of game. But it those galactic battles just amaze me every time.
So wait, so in this game.
That's what Shadow said. Isn't that the space game John likes?
Yeah,
yes,
it is.
Yep.
Well, he likes Elite Dangerous too, so he likes both of those.
Okay, I don't know too much about Elite Dangerous, but I know EVE Online.
Elite Dangerous is another game where you control people too.
Yeah, so. It's not my cup of tea, but I am amazed by those galactic wars that are constantly going on.
Did you get him in Star Wars?
He tried to get me into that game too. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So in this game, if your ship gets destroyed, you have to start from scratch?
Oh yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
And it takes how long to build a ship?
I don't know.
Years.
But it with people estimated based on like how long it takes, minimum wage, that kind of thing. Those ships cost thousands of dollars to make. So.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy! I would have been a dick and went in a little ship and just started.
But see that it's like World War I, right? If you know the origins of World War I, it was two small countries got into a little kerfuffle, right? And then all these alliances. So that's what happened. One person shot at another person. Like you looked at me the wrong way, and boom, all these alliances just start coming in.
All
from
these
here
ships
and
come
there,
out of hyperspace.
Yeah,
you're like,
oh, mama.
Oh my god.
Coming out of
and that is why I don't play EVE Online, because I think I would get severe gamer rage from that.
Yesterday, I have an example of that kind of moment happened yesterday.
Sure.
I was playing GTA Online with my brother and Bowden.
Okay. Yeah, Bowden's a mutual friend of ours.
Yeah, he's a mutual friend of ours who plays online with us. And I was delivering. It's called an import. So I go steal a car, and so I get that car ready, and then I sell it off. Right.
Sure.
I'm about to drive in, and these dicks in an armored Humvee come over with their Gatling gun and
like the Godfather,
like
the Godfather when you're coming into the
exactly, and they kill me luckily because they racked up like $30,000 in damage in this car, and they kill me, and I'm like, and then my brother jumps on Discord, and then Bowden jumps on Discord. They're messing with you? Yeah. And so we shall go to war. And the next solid 45 minutes were me, Bowden, and my brother going to war against these three dicks and in this armored SUV.
We're out of ammo.
Got my Gatling gun.
Who ended up winning?
None of us. Because a modder came in and said, "You guys are having fun. I'm going to have some fun too." So he went God mode and started nuke bombing us from like orbit, and you couldn't shoot him down because he's God moding. And we're like, "Wait a mod, dude! Like, kill the fun." He's like, "Someone stole my car." And we're like, "What the?"
And that was John as he went off.
It wasn't John. John has more honor than that.
Really?
But, yeah. GTA. I'm like, dude. The name of the game is Grand Theft Auto. You're meant to steal car. Someone stole my car. Y'all had to pay. Like,
someone's got to pay. Wow. That was his gamer rage.
That was his. Yeah.
Shadow said,
yeah.
My friend basically did everything for me.
Dick.
So what now?
So my friend basically did everything for me. So I'm thinking that's on. I think you're talking about EVE Online.
Yeah.
All I saw in that game is just like space, and he's just flying.
It's
like,
it's drop down menu after drop down menu. You need you need to press 8 drop down menus to deploy the cup holder.
It's from a it's.
I haven't.
I was like, to what?
That's accurate. Cause what Paul's saying is it's very user unfriendly, right? You have to be really into numbers and really into growth spreadsheets and growth statuses and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's just not my type of game, because when I hop into a game, I want to be able to like play. Mm-hmm. Like I want to be like if I really care about the game, then I'll get into the growth and all that stuff. But I have to be interested in the game first before I do that, right? It's like Pokemon, right? Most people don't play Pokemon for... If I were to mention EV and IV values to you in Pokemon, would you know what those mean?
No.
Exactly.
Talk about EV to Pokemon?
So
That's what I thought too.
So in Pokemon games post
How many
Ruby,
hours?
Sapphire, and Emerald, right? Each Pokemon has what's called an effort value, and like so, if you fight a Pokemon that's really fast, your Pokemon gets speed EVs, effort values, and when it gets X amount of effort values, the speed of your Pokemon will naturally go up, right? It's to try to in the creators' minds, EVs and EVs were meant to be. Oh, if you fight these types of Pokemon, your Pokemon will naturally grow different to identical Pokemon, right? Mm-hmm. But it became a way for people to min-max, right? It was impossible for me to get a leg up on any of Matt's Pokemon because he will precisely speed EV train his Pokemon so that no matter what I did, even if it was level 100, I would never be able to defeat his Pokemon unless I EV trained as well. Then there's another thing called IVs, which stand for intrinsic values. Mm-hmm. And that's the Pokemon. That's the stats that the Pokemon naturally have that are higher than others, right?
That they inherit from their parents.
So if you were to just pop in a new Pokemon game, you're not expected to know any of this stuff, and the creators don't expect you to. Like if you're somebody who doesn't play competitively, it's whatever. But if you want to really like have a chance against like one of us or Matt, then you would have to EV or IV train your Pokemon. Now in newer games, they've made it easier to do that. Because they realize people don't like grinding. They don't have a lot of time to do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. The best way to get EVs and IVs is you have to do breeding. Like, you have to breed the same Pokemon repeatedly with Pokemon with high IVs and stuff. Like, we would have competitions, which we had our own share of gamer rage, but we would have competitions for Matt's reject Pokemon because they were one IV point short or something. And they're still really good Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Like, they'll wipe the floor with anybody else, but it wasn't good enough for Matt. So he was like, I'm going to give this away. Who wants it? Have a tournament for it.
Dance, minions, dance.
Dance.
Oh, man. I remember, I probably battled you once a long time ago in Pokemon. And I battled you a couple times. Never won.
Yeah.
Never had a chance.
I remember
even with the cap or whatever. I'm just like,
I remember,
this is not fun, sorry.
It's okay. I remember being here at the studio. I think you were one of the people I faced that day. Another guy I faced was one of the former artists of Celatria. Mm-hmm. And he comes in, oh yeah, I'm good at Pokemon. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I remember sitting there, and he threw his entire 6 at me. No.
Yeah, John would be up all night trying to train Pokemon to be able to defeat
me.
Yeah.
Because if he can defeat me, he can defeat Matt. He thought he could defeat Matt.
Yeah, but
he couldn't get past me reliably.
Yeah. So Matt's like, why bother?
Yeah, he called my team Matt's B team because I would win these recheck tournaments.
Yeah.
Because I had some vague understanding of EV training, I guess. I don't know.
Let's see. Shadow saying Paul isn't wrong. You also need a lot of time to accomplish anything in EVE. Yeah, it was met with the old school MMO style where you had to grind a lot to get anywhere.
And that's GTA 5 online in a nutshell. You got to do a lot of grinding.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, we were talking about it during the PS5 conference. They're like, okay, if you buy GTA 5 for the PS5, you get $1 million. And I'm like, what does that buy you, Paul? $1 million? Half a car?
Like, cause
missing some wheels?
The ultimate, like...
inflation, man.
Prizes in the game are these fancy cars you can buy from, Legendary Motorsports, which is like Pegas, Lamborghinis and Ferrari wannabes, right? They're not sponsored by the actual, so they made their own in-game titles, right?
Yeah.
And those are the ultimate prizes. Those are your status symbols. You have enough money for these, and these cars run $3 to $4 million in game. Mm-hmm. Now you can buy in-game currency with actual cash.
Of course you can.
So kind of going back to the whole Rockstar's not regulating it because. You give people a bunch of tools to be dicks, they're going to be dicks.
And that's Grand Theft Auto.
And that's Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the first thing you do when you go into a Grand Theft Auto?
Spawn a bunch of tanks and run people over.
So, why would that change?
First thought.
GTA Online. I'm going to just troll other people. So, GTA is like, well, you don't like being trolled? Buy some in-game currency, and you can troll them back. And in my brain, I'm like, that's just good marketing.
That's when I bought GTA, there was like some promotions like, oh yeah, buy it now and you'll get 100 million gil. Well, not gil. $100 million.
I wish it was $100 million, just $1 million.
Yeah. And so Bowden and John asked me like, how did you get all that money? I'm like, internet.
So, we are coming up on our hour of this topic. Any final thoughts, Grover, on Gamer Rage or PlayStation or?
Well, I think if I had like a final lesson for anybody like who's like feels like they get really super angry playing a video game. I mean, it's just a game. We're supposed to play this for relaxation and fun. I like in my Final Fantasy story that I mentioned earlier. It's like I had to realign some values, right? It's like, I play this for fun, it sucks that I don't play things super competitively now, but I enjoy things a lot more when I'm more relaxed about it, rather than feeling like I have to stay all night trying to practice to beat somebody, or when I'm getting angry, or when I'm yelling at people for Mario Kart, but there's sometimes I'll just go animated for fun, but but when you start getting genuinely angry about it, that's when it's not fun anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jabari, any final thoughts?
I always say this to people, but if you're getting angry at a game, get better.
Get good, scrub.
Get good, scrub.
Wow.
From one end of the spectrum to clear across the football field.
I'm like coddling the viewers. I'm like, it's all right. It's okay if you suck. And you're just like, get good, noobs.
Whisper in their ear.
Have you ever seen Have you ever seen the Online Gamer?
No.
Oh, it's a YouTube series where it's like this guy. It parodies like this guy like just yelling at people and calling them all these names and stuff, and it's funny. It's by Reckless Tortuga. It had some very hard language in it, but it's pretty funny.
And I'm going to come right down the middle between you two.
Yeah.
If you want to play a game casually and take your time with it, you're more than welcome to. There's that opening for it. You do that. You feel yourself getting upset, come down a level. Maybe have more fun with it.
Right.
Be less competitive. It's all right. But just know when you step into that higher tier, when you step up to somebody who this is their second job, if not their first job. Or they have more time than you to play. They study frame rates and hitboxes to know exactly how to win.
Yeah,
that is a time sink that I'm not willing to put in. Like IVs in Pokemon, I was not willing to cross that line, and the cost of that was losing to Matt consistently.
And it's okay to be second best.
And it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay to be a loser.
It's okay to be. But you lost to me in Pokemon, so what does that say?
I'm a loser. Pokemon's not my game. I like to go to the caves, and I'm fine with that.
What I'm saying is, if you're going to play with the big boys, expect the big boys to slap you around until you get good, scrub.
Until situation improves.
Beatings will continue until morale improves.
All right.
So right down the middle, right there. So. Well, this has been the On the Whim podcast. Listen up for us to be released every Tuesday, 8 p.m. I know the last 2 episodes were released on Spotify only, but since we have a picture now again, we'll go back to YouTube and reveal that at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time as of this recording.
Yeah. Thank you for your specifics.
It's been awesome. Thanks for listening, guys.
And for those on Twitch, we will be doing another episode, I think, right?
Yeah, we will be back in the next, 5-10 minutes?
For episode 12.
For episode 12. But in the meantime, this has been episode 11 of On the Whim. I'm your co-host, Paul Vella.
Co-host, Jabari Lewis Smith.
And our wonderful guest co-host,
Grover.
Thank you, guys, for listening. Y'all keep it nerdy out there. Till next time.
Get better.
Get better.
Get good, scrub.
Don't be sorry. Be better.
Gervin, do the.
On a whim.
I love it.